All right, so I was driving home from work and I got the notification on my phone that the New York Rangers had won the number 1 overall pick in the 2020 draft. They finished 18th this season, and it's the first time since 1983 that a team has made the playoffs and subsequently gotten the first overall pick the following year. So I had to pull over and make a video on this real quick and give my thoughts. First of all, my first thought is that the idea that one of the teams that made the play-in was able to get the overall pick, the first overall pick, like the fact that that was even possible was stupid on the NHL. The NHL should have awarded that first pick to one of the teams that did not even make it to the play-in, and let's face it, Detroit should have gotten that pick. I mean, I get how they do it with the lottery and all that jazz, which I don't like. I like the way the NFL does it. You finish last, you get the first pick, plain and simple. Is it possible that a team could throw a season or throw a couple games at the end of the season to finish last and get that? Yeah, I guess. I cannot imagine how you're going to convince a team full of people to play badly. Maybe you could bribe 1 or 2 guys. I don't know. I find all that hard to believe. Whatever. I would have liked to have seen the pick go to Detroit, or at least one of the teams that didn't make the play-in. But I will say this. Of the teams that were eligible to get the first overall pick today, I think New York is a fair one. I'm not a big Rangers fan. I'll go ahead and admit that. But I was really hoping that it would go to a team that I thought was either on a downturn or at least not ascending or ascending very quickly. I think there are teams that it would have been a real travesty. Pittsburgh. If Pittsburgh had gotten this pick, that would have been an absolute joke, okay? There are teams that were, I think, that have been on a bit of a downturn. I think Nashville would have been a reasonable one because I think that they have been on a decline. Maybe Minnesota would not have been a terrible pick. But, I mean, if it had gone to Edmonton, my gosh, I would have just been punching myself in the face. But New York, the New York Rangers, not a terrible pick. They were 18th overall in the season, in the standings when the season ended. They've been, I wouldn't say they've been declining. I'd say they've been even. They've got, I'm sure Lundqvist is going to be gone. He's retiring. I think that's already actually officially announced. So, I mean, they've got Georgiev and Shesterkin. I think they've got strong goaltending going into next season. However, those guys are both young, so we'll see. Anything can happen. I think they do have a good core. They've got Artemi Panarin, so they can always put goals on the board. I know one guy can't do it all, but he can do a lot. So I think there's a lot of good there. By the way, in case any of you are wondering, I am pretty far away from the road, so I'm not like being dangerous by pulling over here and doing this. There's actually this little gravel lot that I've pulled into that's way off the road. So anyway, I think the New York Rangers are a reasonable pick. Not that it was a pick. I know it was just a crapshoot, right? A ball got pulled up out of a suction machine or something like that. I think that's how they did it, how they do it. But anyway, New York Rangers, I can live with that. I don't love it, but I can live with it. So, it's kind of good. Of course, let me think. The Rangers weren't the Rangers number 2 last year because they got Capo Caco, right? Number 1 was New Jersey. So that's pretty good for the Rangers. 2 pick last year, 2 overall last year and 1 overall this year. So, they ought to be able to build themselves a good base. I would think that Rangers fans have got to be pretty excited. So again, do I like the system? No. I think the whole lottery concept is stupid. The way that they did it this year, really stupid because one of the teams that didn't make the play-in should have gotten it. Detroit. Hello. They're like the worst team in the history of bad teams. Okay? Give it to Detroit just by default. But I know they don't do it that way. So anyway, it goes to New York Rangers. New York Rangers fans, if you're watching this, let me know what you think. Everybody else, especially you other play-in teams that had a chance, what were you thinking? How were you feeling? How disappointed are you to know that you're going to be now picking between 9 and 15 instead of first overall? But under the circumstances, it's not too bad. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Please give this video a like if you find it entertaining, informational, or useful. And would you please subscribe? If you have not subscribed already, I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much for those of you who have subscribed, and for those of you who are watching, have an awesome day. Bye now.